Gather round, kiddies, and Papa Tony will tell you a creepy ghost story. The Black Critic Guy here with the final anime review for Horror Month, and that is on the anime Ghost Stories. Now, Ghost Stories follow Satsuki Miyanoshita, a young girl who moves with her family to her deceased mother's hometown and her friends as they deal with these various evil spirits within their school and try to seal them away by putting them into a spiritual sleep by using the notes left in her mother's old ghost diary. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys. I have never heard of this anime in my entire life. Hell, I didn't even know that it existed until you guys requested it and voted for it to be one of the animes that I watch and review for Horror Month. And a little fun fact about the anime, something that I discovered while watching it, is that it was directed by Noriyuki Abe. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be like, who the hell is that? Or you might even say, you know what, that name actually sounds familiar. Well, this is the same guy that directed such classics as Yu Yu Hakusho and Bleach. Yeah. Shocking, right? If you were to tell me that this anime was directed by the same guy that directed some of the best action shonen animes ever made, I would have laughed at you. I would have been like, no fucking way would this guy ever be caught dead directing an anime such as this. But I guess that goes to show how much I know. And ironically, the fact that he did direct this anime actually makes me respect him even more, because it just shows you how diverse he is as an anime director. The fact that he is willing to try other genres and other stories besides the typical cliche action animes that he's used to directing. I really respect people that are willing to kind of jump out of their comfort zone and try something new. So props to you, Abe. But back to the anime now. Again, I had no idea that this anime even existed. This was one hell of a dive into the unknown when watching this anime. And I did hear a lot about its English dub, and I'm gonna actually make a separate video talking about the English dub because it is very different from the Japanese dub. This is just the review for the Japanese dub of the anime. And after watching it, I gotta say, it's a decent horror anime for kids. So let's dive into the things that I liked in this anime. First off, I thought that the horror elements, although a bit cliche, were handled well with a few spooky moments here and there. I personally think that this would be a really good horror anime to show to little kids. I think they would get a kick out of it and they would get spooked out by some of the scenes in this anime. But as for adults, there aren't a lot of creepy moments. There are a few here and there, and the atmosphere is handled very well, very dark and ominous. The individual stories in the anime, for the most part, were fun to watch. Seeing our characters get into a situation where they have to deal with a new ghost threat and figure out how to deal with said ghost and get out of that situation. The story structure of the anime is very episodic, following the whole Ghost of the Week type formula, where the characters would meet a new ghost in every episode, which in my opinion was both a good thing and a bad thing. Good in the fact that it does show us a wide range of different ghosts throughout the entire series, but bad in the fact that, well, let's hold off on that for now. We'll talk about it soon. The characters, much like the stories in the anime, were fun and entertaining to watch, to a degree. I did enjoy seeing the variety of ghosts throughout the entire series, and each one was unique and different from the next. And I won't lie, it was a bit interesting to learn about the ghosts' backstories to kind of see how they became the ghosts that they are now. I thought they were pretty cool, and there was actually one relationship in the anime that I thought was really cute and adorable, and that was the relationship between Satsuki and Hajime. I just thought they were so cute. I wish they could have bonded a little bit more in the anime, but for the moments that we were given, they were really nice. And actually, that's all the things that I liked in this anime. Now we talk about the problems that I had with this anime. The biggest problem that I had with this anime was actually the many stories featured in the anime. And I'll explain what I mean by that. Yes, I did find the stories in the anime, for the most part, fun and enjoyable to an extent. But I started to notice a reoccurring theme with all the stories in the anime. And that is the fact that there is no weight to the situations in the story. And the stories lacked any sort of suspense to them. Like, I never really cared what was gonna happen to the characters. I never cared whether or not they would get out of these situations. There was just no attachment to the story. I was never really involved with the story. And remember earlier when I mentioned the episodic nature of the series and how it was both a good thing and a bad thing? Well, here is why it's a bad thing. It's bad because it makes the series come off as extremely repetitive, with each one of the stories following the same format, the same formula, the same story structure. And I'm not kidding, guys. Each and every one of the stories begins and ends the same way. Character does one thing, character meets the ghost, character has to deal with the ghost, character finally deals with the ghost, rinse and repeat, back to the beginning with the next story. But probably the biggest sin with all these stories is the fact that I never felt like any of the characters ever grew from their experience dealing with these ghosts. They felt like the same characters that they were from the beginning of the show to the end of the show. Nothing has changed. There was no growth, no development with any of the characters. And I know some of you who have seen the show will argue the fact that there was some character growth in a few episodes here and there. But herein lies the problem. And again, it goes back to the episodic nature of the series. Because it's so episodic, the growth that the character goes through in an episode feels like an isolated incident. Like the character grows in the episode, but you don't see that growth play off in any other episodes afterwards. It's like at the end of every episode, the characters just return back to default mode for the next episode. And with that said, the characters. Though entertaining, many of them had little to no development given to them, and the bonds between characters were just as weak. I never felt a connection between any characters besides Satsuki and Hajime, and that was the only real connection and bond I felt, and it was subpar to say the least. And in my opinion, the two weakest main characters in the entire series was Momoko and Satsuki's little brother. Let's start off with Momoko first. This character had a lot of potential and it was squandered. It was wasted. This character could have been so much more than what she turned out to be. They set up the fact that she has some type of clairvoyant power and the fact that she actually met Satsuki's mother in the hospital before she met them. She could have been someone interesting. But at the end of the day, she just came off as a very bland, uninteresting, one-dimensional character. And as for Satsuki's brother, I understand that he's a little kid and all, but come on, this kid was so damn annoying. All he would ever do is just start crying and go, it's like nails on a chalkboard. I really failed to see what purpose he served to the anime. Honestly, if you were to take his character out, the anime would be no different. In fact, it would be much better because we wouldn't have to hear him whining so much. The animation in the anime is very subpar, having no flair to it whatsoever, even for its time. And the final problem that I had with this anime was its last episode. My God, was that anticlimactic and extremely rushed. I honestly think they should have made it a two-part episode showing our main characters facing their greatest threat ever, because that's exactly what they were doing. They were facing the biggest threat they've ever faced and they defeat him in like that. Like bam, he's done, he's defeated. And I was like, I thought this is supposed to be like the end game boss. It would take more effort to defeat him, but nope. like that, he's gone, he's defeated. But the biggest atrocity that the last episode commits is what they did to Satsuki. She is so out of character in this episode and acts so stupidly. All of a sudden, she starts to have doubts about whether or not she could defeat this ghost by doing the exact same thing she's been doing throughout the entire series. And I mean that. They make it seem like she needs to have these incredible powers in order to defeat said demon, but honestly, how she defeats him is the same way she defeats every one of the other ghosts in the entire series. So basically, that entire dilemma of her not believing she could defeat this ghost was completely pointless. It was shoved in to add more tension to the episode, which it didn't do. And you know what, guys? I was gonna let this anime off the hook. I was gonna let this anime pass. I was gonna say that although this anime has many major glaring issues with it, that there were facets of Ghost Story that I did enjoy and I found okay, and I was gonna be like, it's okay. But fuck that! After sitting here and hearing all the points that I brought up with all the problems that I had, there is no way in hell I'm just gonna say that it was okay. No way in hell. Even if it was made for kids or something that kids may enjoy. Because honestly, this anime has so many problems, at least in the Japanese dub version, that I can't ignore it, guys. It is a problem that I had. Yes, I enjoyed some of the stories. Yes, the characters were entertaining, and they did handle some of the horror elements pretty well, but that doesn't change the fact there are so many glaring issues that cannot be ignored. And that is why I'm going to give this anime a 2 out of 5 stars. It is an easily forgettable anime. And honestly, I'm going to forget all about it after October is over. And yes, I'm currently watching the English dub of this anime, and I will have a separate video talking about it, and hopefully it'll be better than its Japanese counterpart. But anyway, what did you guys think about this anime? Did you get a kick out of it? Did you enjoy it? Or did you find it to be really dull and really boring and have so many problems that you can't ignore? And let me know, what is an anime that at first you were like, you know what, this anime isn't that bad, but once you start thinking about it and noticing all the problems with it, you start to say, yeah, that anime is a piece of shit. Comment below and let me know. And I know a lot of you have been asking me this, so I'm gonna say it right here. I will be having my monthly live chat October 29th. That is, no, not October 29th, October 30th. That's this Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on this channel. So stay tuned for that. And until the next video comes, guys, if you would like to be a part of the Black Critic crew, hit that subscribe button, like this video if you really enjoyed it, if you really enjoyed my ranting, and I'm Tony Wallet II, the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.